donkeys are incredibly warm and caring creatures. They are natural healers. They're being used in places like the Donkey Sanctuary and have been used for decades in therapy for children. They help returning soldiers with post-traumatic stress disorder. They've been helping Alzheimer's patients. They help memory problems with patients, and they've been superb in helping children that have autism. They don't cure them, but they help them to lead actually a productive and useful life.
Yeah.
Their honesty and their courage and their wisdom and their empathy is picked up by these children, and they're able to open up to them as they can to know.
In addition to that, the history, you know, a lot of the settlements might not have happened if it wasn't for donkeys and pack mules, essentially.
Oh, without question. You know, people like to say, well, you know, the horse won the West. Well, that's somewhat true. I mean, I was a horse lover before I was a donkey lover. I had access to them first. But the fact is that the first trails that were made by the explorers and the surveyors, and they went in with their donkeys, and the donkeys could go 4 days without water. They didn't require very much food because they're very efficient in how they use their food. And many an explorer's life was saved by the amazing abilities of the donkey to find water. They could go into terrain that horses and mules couldn't travel, and those little trails were made, and then the mules and horses followed, and then later the wagon trains. In fact, Santa Fe has a place called Burro Alley. They recognized that was the end of a lot of donkey trails.
Mm-hmm.
That was how the town was established.
And I think you could still go to the Grand Canyon and actually take a donkey down into the canyon. They still have those. So, and those are around, and that's a tourism attraction, essentially. For
people love them. People love it, and it's a multi-million-dollar show industry. You know, people spend lots of money showing donkeys and mules, like the Bishop Mule Days. In fact, that's something that we really want to do in the Big Bend Ranch area, is to see if we can go to Sol Ross or somebody else that's willing to work with us to set up Wild West Donkey and Mule Days and feature these amazing animals, and that would help the township. The people of that area want the donkey to stay. They want the burro to stay. A lot of them were bringing photographs to the meeting that we had in Alpine, showing pictures of their grandmothers on a donkey. You know, they've always been there. They built the Southern Pacific Railroad. They delivered milk to the miners in Terlingua Mine. They were part of the mines. There's a lot of features in the park that are named after the burro, because they were so incredibly important to establishing the civilization in that area.
Well, and so who are the people that are trying to kill these donkeys?
Oh, Texas Parks and Wildlife Department, and of course Governor Perry, who continues to give them carte blanche. In fact, he just recently stated again he trusted Texas Parks and Wildlife to make the right decisions.
And they're basing their decisions, you claim, off faulty findings. In fact, even no studies at all. They're claiming that these are
They've never done one, and there's not a scientist anywhere that would accept that, to take a species and completely eradicate a species from an ecosystem without doing a study. There's the law of unintended consequences. You do not know what plants, what insects, what amphibians that particular animal benefits, and how they are symbiotically related to the ecosystem around them. The burros have been there for, well, they're a returned native, and Cabeza de Vaca brought them back to Mexico in 1527, and they've been there ever since. They have an entire migration route that is part of the Chihuahua biosphere, which is a globally recognized precious ecosystem, and encompasses in Big Bend Ranch State Park. So in essence, they really have 5 million acres that they traverse upon, and that includes the Rio Grande. The park itself has over 250 springs, So, you know, if they try to say to you that there's not enough water, that's blatantly not true.
Well, and they can find their own water source, too.
And they provide water for the other animals because they are able to hear the water underground. They're able to smell the water. They go directly to the right spot. They dig a little 3-foot hole. It comes up, the water springs up, it's clear, it's filtered, it's clean. They drink, the wildlife around them drinks, amphibians, insects, you know, birds all drink from that, you know, life-giving water that they provide.
Mm-hmm. So you tried to deliver a petition with over 100,000 names on it, and you applied for the permits. Tell us about that process and what happened to you.
Oh, it took months. It's not an easy process when you're just a normal citizen trying to accomplish, you know, a good thing. They don't tell you how to do the process, but you're supposed to pull permits for each and every segment that you do. There's the segment for the police. There's the segment for road closure. There's a segment for the special events office, and so on and so forth. So I went through the process, I learned it, and I got all of the permits pulled. And each and every agency that I called, I asked, is this everything I need to do? Don't I need a paper permit? No, you are authorized, you are okay, you're covered. Well, I've had a lesson learned. I won't be burned twice when we do our protest. I will have permit in hand. But basically, we started having trouble the day before the event. We had we got a phone call saying that Mindy Epler with the State Preservation Board had been looking at our site, and she became concerned that the size of my wagon wouldn't fit through the bollards. And I told her that I was a very good driver. I had won High Point driver at the Texas Shootout in 2010, and I was capable of making it through a narrow opening. She then sent another email saying that that they could not accommodate me by lowering the bullard so that I could go through. So stop it, Ozzy. So
That's not a green screen behind you. Those are actual real donkeys, right?
Those are real donkeys. Yes, they are. And they're trying to get some attention. They're getting a little upset that I am not turning them around. That's not the way it's supposed to work. So anyway, we were helped a lot by the police. I have to send my kudos out to the police in Austin. They were, every single one of them. They were petting our donkeys. They loved the donkeys. The motorcycle patrol was, I mean, they were just terrific. And
when they are taking blood illegally from people or beating up women, yeah, they are. I guess they are nice guys.
I'm just saying. I was actually pleasantly surprised because that was the only high point in the whole thing.
Right.
So Captain Sines tried to help me, said that they weren't going to let me go through because I couldn't fit through the bullards. Mm-hmm. And so we drove up there, and in fact, the bullard was down.
Oh.
It was down, but they blocked it with a car.
Wow.
And wouldn't let me through.
And who do you think was responsible for doing this?
Oh, it was the State Preservation Board.
State Preservation Board. And they had, you said I was talking to you on the phone earlier today, you said they had, they stopped you from where you were going to park your trailer. They blocked you from doing that.
Yeah, that's the first thing in the morning when we arrived to our designated and pre-authorized staging area at the daycare center. We pulled up, and that's where the day started. Quit, you guys. The manager came out and said that the authorization had been pulled. She had gotten a phone call, and the authorization had been pulled. I asked who had called, and she said, "I can't tell you that."
Wow.
So
I'm going to insert a donkey pun here. It sounds like a real jackass.
Well, it was not cool.
Yeah. So. Where can people go to sign the petition, to provide support for you guys, to get the word out?
That would be Donkeys Can Do. Mm-hmm. www.donkeyscando.com, and over on the left-hand side, you'll find the petition, which is ongoing. We will resubmit it, and we are hoping to get 500,000 signatures, if that's at all possible. We think it might be.
All right.
Awareness. Keep in mind, I mean, this is 103,000 signatures, and we've had no coverage.
Right.
You know, the media has really blocked us out. So, you know, we are only just now, as a result of going there, and
seems like you're the Ron Paul of the Nature Conservancy movement, essentially, because the media has really shut him out as well.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't really necessarily want to be Ron Paul, but
well, you're not getting media coverage. Hey, Marjorie, thanks for spending time with us today. We appreciate it. donkeyscando.com. Is that right?
Yes.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get some people over there helping you guys out, and because I don't really feel we should be killing donkeys with no good reason, especially.
Well, I have to tell you, this is bigger than the burros. This is about an entire ecosystem. This is about the people's right to have access to that ecosystem. 84% of the people that come to these parks are coming to see wildlife, and yet they are destroying all of that wildlife. What they're going to come in is they're going to come in and see a desert that's dead and devoid of life. And the only people that will be able to enjoy that park for the short term will be the people that can pay a lot of money for a helicopter ride up to see the bighorn. And they soon too will fail because the ecosystem will be dead. Well,
and we brought up this article that we covered in early October. Honduran farmers slaughtered in the name of global warming. You have a group of people who decide something should happen without actually doing any type of study or anything, and then, you know, the wave of tyranny is unleashed. So, I mean, this could easily be another group of people. It could be another species. It could be anything. Just by, you know, waving a magic wand, we can, you know, people can go in and just start indiscriminately killing. And so that's one reason.
They're killing all the elk and all the oudad. They're killing all the bobcat and all the cougar in the park too.
Yeah, this is definitely something that should be looked at. Marjorie, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us today, and hope people go to donkeyscando.com and check that out, see what they got going on there. And there's a picture Marjorie showed us before we started the interview, and it is the Texas Parks and Wildlife lined up, and they've got the poor donkeys in a firing squad. Who would want to shoot donkeys? I don't know. Weird individuals. But anyway, you can go to donkeyscando.com to find out more how you can help. Cute little guys. Anyway, on to more disgusting news. If it could get any more disgusting than shooting donkeys, Jabba the Newt cancels campaign event due to poor attendance. Apparently, Newt Gingrich had canceled a campaign appearance, and he was scheduled to speak at the Southern Republican leadership on Friday. But a campaign spokesperson told reporters that he would no longer be appearing due to